Gemini, hi, it's been a while. So today we are looking at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. We're going to start by getting a little photographic inspiration for you and for your reading today, Gemini. Okay, wow. The other half of the photo that came out in Taurus's reading just now. Okay. Anything else? I don't think so. I have a feeling that that stands alone, but I do want to show you the other half of the card. Yeah, it's right here on the top. It's broken up because this is a memory game. That's the full photo. So let me then tell you a little about Taurus's reading, which was basically talking about this catharsis moment of release after the energy has been perhaps like really tense and tight for some time, maybe really emotionally charged. Suddenly there's this it's the catharsis of laughing till you cry, and then until you just have no breath left in your body and you're left just completely reset, cleansed, purged, and reset. And then on the other side of that is this connection. There's something now coming in. The other piece of that is what happens, I think, when you have that kind of release with others and the connective experience that can bring. So we'll hold that card for sure, but let's just really focus in on the card that came out for you. There's almost an interesting self-awareness in this card. Check it out. Frida Kahlo is looking directly at the camera, it looks like, or something quite close to it. And I'm is it? Yeah, okay, I think they're Frida's hands, but there's even somebody, I think this is probably, okay, it's just a lot of hands, you know? Okay, yeah, this is Chavela's hand, probably, and then this is Frida. But there's a real self-awareness in this laughter that's almost oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm laughing like this, or there's an awareness of being witnessed in that catharsis. Okay. For God's sakes, let's get into it. What's the shape shift for Gemini here? The shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that feels like. Yeah. Okay. Talk about catharsis. Rage and joy. It's feeling really intensely. That's what this rage card feels like to me. It's showing a volcanic eruption, which is a catharsis. It is a deep release of fire and pressure that has been building deep in the earth suddenly gets to explode. It gets to release. It gets to have this gigantic cleansing rage, or cleansing cry, or cleansing laugh, some sort of strong emotional release that could, on the other side of that, lead to this sort of peaceful, refreshing lightness of being, which can also be called joy. And I love that the tongue is out here too, because similar to the Taurus reading, part of the advice was taking it all a little less seriously, a little less doomsday and a little more doomsday, you know, okay, well, if it's doomsday, because, okay, the Taurus reading, I guess you should watch the Taurus reading because it was pretty collective in nature, I think, because Uranus is going through Taurus, square Saturn, blah, blah, blah. But there's this real sense of the events of the pandemic and the global sort of ripple effect that that has had on business as usual and interrupting that and shaking that up has really created a mentality in a lot of us of like looking towards the future and seeing the worst case scenario and just like constantly envisioning that the worst will come true. And so there's something about like a needed emotional release that could help you take things a little less seriously, because the reality is like, okay, if it is the apocalypse, I want to spend it like this. You know, I want to spend it in like absolute joy and connection with the people I love and connection to the most joyful parts of myself and the most joyful and cathartic experiences of being alive and being a human while I am a human who is alive. Okay, what does this shapeshift look and feel like? Wow, that's powerful. It's this choice. I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah, this is totally connected to the Taurus reading. This card on the bottom of the deck is what came out for Taurus. It says unknown. When facing the unknown, you have a choice of how you're going to face it. That's a word. That's a real word. Okay. Let's get into it. We're going to use the Dark Exact and start pulling some tarot. The cards I'm using for your shapeshift are from the Poesis Oracle, by the way. Let's look at this rage, this eruption, this emotional release, catharsis. If you've enjoyed the first part of this reading, I invite you to explore the whole thing with me for a season over at the Shifting Space. This spring, 2022, I'm testing out this new space devoted to experiencing the shifts more viscerally in connection with other people, for the course of an entire season. I'm inviting no more than 30 folks to join this cohort of original founding members of the Shifting Space. This is a chance for me and you to shape the kind of virtual space we want to be a part of for months and years to come. We'll experiment with bi-monthly movement meetups to feel how our bodies are shifting, a community chat space where we can dish on the shifts, and a podcast where we'll connect the dots of all the revelations we're having throughout the season. If this sounds like what you're into, join me at this early stage of the Shifting Space. It'll never be more affordable than it is right now. And as a reward for your input at these early days of the space, you'll keep your original member rate for life. So, come see what it's all about and watch the rest of your reading at unseenhandstarot.com.